Hi. Welcome to the 8 in the Box podcast. I don't even know what day it is. It's November 3rd. Baseball season's over. It's officially done. The World Series is done. This is the college football podcast where we talk football. I think it's not even 6 o'clock in the morning yet in Vegas, but I'm here. My name is Dave Sharapan. I am the Sportsbook Consigliere at SportsBK Consig. Thank goodness my quarterback is here. He's in West Virginia. Listen, I just woke up from the morning meeting. I don't even know what day it is. Brad Howe07 on Twitter. B Howe, what's up, man? You're awake? You're good to go?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're listening to the show, I am awake. I am caffeinated. I am ready. I'm impressed with you. Baseball season ended 14 minutes ago. You've already got NBA lids on, and we're talking college football. Great baseball season. You made me a lot of money in baseball. Thank you, by the way, before we get started. Now let's talk college football.
That's what we're going to do. We got the usual 8 games, highest total of the week. We got to talk about these rankings probably and what useless information rankings
we're not.
are.
We're not talking about the ranking. No.
Okay, that's good.
No,
Why?
Doesn't matter. In a few weeks, maybe. Doesn't matter right now. Because
Thank
how is Minnesota
goodness.
ranked? How is Minnesota ranked? You want to start there? Why is Minnesota ranked? They lost to Bowling Green. Get them out.
Did. But Bowling Green's good. No.
Well, they cover. For our purposes, they cover. I don't think they're good, but
they're a machine. They are a machine.
I digress.
All right.
Go ahead.
So we're gonna get into that. Our highest total of the week that goes under every single week. We got that in store, and then I guess we're not going to talk about the rankings. That's good because they are useless. No one in the book uses them. I haven't looked at the rankings in years. Honestly, I see them on the sheets. I'm like, really? They're the 7th ranked team in the country? I had no idea. So we're looking at the numbers. We're talking football. Take it away. Where are we going first?
Well, we have to if we're starting. So you got to get on this early because we're going Maction. Maction is back. Football season is really here. When there's turn the TV on, there's a college game. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, doesn't matter. Thank you, Maction, for giving us midweek football. Let's go. I got one for you. You ready?
Yes, please.
Northern Illinois and Kent State.
Oh, boy.
Northern Illinois here, 6-2, but they've been playing some close games. They have 5 wins by 1 score.
Oh, boy.
5 wins by 1 score for Northern Illinois. So I think you can probably see where I'm starting to lean with this. Northern Illinois should be able to run it. They're going to run it. Northern Illinois can run it on Kent State. But can they stop Kent State? 7th nationally in success rate when they run the football, Kent State is. They're 8th in the nation offensively per Pro Football Focus. Kent State should score, and they want to go fast. They're 2nd nationally in tempo behind only Ole Miss, who we seemingly talk about every week in the highest point total game.
We do.
So they're fast. So here's the question. I'll just tell you right now, I like Kent State in this. I like a little regression for Northern Illinois. I know road favorite, give it to me. I'll take it. Here's my question, though. Did we miss the total number? Because this feels like an over game, but that number's rolling right now. Can we get in? Do we look at Kent State team total over 36.5? Can I interest you in any of those?
Well, I think as far as the total, I don't know if it's missed it yet. And I don't know if there's a key number just because the line opened 67 and now it's 69 and a half in some places. I don't know if you necessarily missed it. As far as the side, Maction is so crazy. Don't you think? I'm looking at the dog and I'm going, okay, we're got a better record. We got a better record against the spread, but we're getting 3.5 points. All right, what am I missing? And I think you may have pointed it out. They may not be able to stop Kent State's offense running the ball. I don't know. Again, I've been so focused on the baseball and like trying to keep up now with the NBA and the NHL is getting started. Maction, I got guys that are Maction specific, and I ask them. Now, I don't think, I say all the time, nobody knows shit, squadoosh, whatever. I'll say this. I don't know Maction at all, but I know enough that I think I would take the dog. Not just because you're taking the favorite. It just seems like over a field goal. Give me the dog.
Okay, and we're on the opposite side. Good start. I like it when we're arguing early.
What,
At 3 in the morning when you're recording, I like it early.
Of course, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. What do you think? I'm going to just go, okay, B. Howe, I want to take the favorite with you? No, we're not doing that. I need a reason to watch the game now. What am I going to say?
You're watching.
Yeah.
Oh, you're watching. Yeah. I might have to come back on that Kent State team total. Dogs on Tuesday night in Maction swept the day. So to your point, in weird things happen in the MAC, that happens, but you got all dogs last night. Are we due for some favorites today? So keep an eye on that. I think there's going to be some points in this one, but I'm already on. Not only do I am on Kent State. Let's go.
Is this a good watch? Will this be an entertaining game?
Yeah, I think it will, because I think there's going to be points, like we just said. I think you're going to be up and down, back and forth. A lot of running. Both teams are going to run it, but I think you get points in this one.
What's Kent State's nickname? What are they?
That'd be the Golden Flashes, Dave. Golden Flashes.
And the Northern Illinois, aren't they the Huskies?
They are the Huskies. Very good. Well done.
Huskies. I'm taking the points with the Huskies over the Golden Flashes. What's the next game?
All right, here's the next one. Speaking of points, there might not be any in this next one. Might be 3-0. Army, Air Force playing. But here's the
Wait, did you skip over the Friday game? You skipped over my Friday game. I wanted to add it. I'm going to throw you a curveball right now.
Well,
Utah's playing Stanford. This is perfect. Minimal analysis. We nailed this last time we threw a Pac-12 game in the middle of nothing. Pac-12 game on Friday. Utah is at Stanford. The number is 7.5, 8 in places. Stanford, are you kidding me? 3-6, 3-5 against the spread. Utah laying points on the road, 5-3 straight up, but also 3-5 against the spread. First thought, don't think. What do you got?
Well, I feel like this is a Utah podcast. Utah somehow makes its way into this show every week. Good defense with Utah. Cam Rising at quarterback has made a difference with that team. There's a lot of people thought they were the premier team in the Pac-12 this year, right? As some of us on here are holding a over 8.5 win ticket. I like Utah a lot. That's a lot of points on the road, even for me.
Yeah.
Did you say 8.5 on the road?
It's up to 8. There's nobody betting Stanford. They lost at home to Washington. I mean, seriously. Friday nights on Pac-12, weird things happen. I want to say take the dog. People will be interested in it, but I think it's a favorite game. I really do. Is Utah going to get in the mix to win the Pac-12? They can't now, right?
That's a Pac-12. I mean, does anybody want to win it? We're going to get to another Pac-12 game coming up here. Does anybody want the Pac-12?
I don't know. Apparently the committee does. Oregon's right up there. I mean, seriously, they're not going
to talk about that. All right. So I can go ahead. So I can lay the 8.5. I can lay the road favorite here.
I think so. Yeah. Stanford feels done, but just first thought, no analysis. Next game. Go ahead.
All right. Army, Air Force. I'm excited for this. I couldn't watch the option every week, but man, you give me a couple option teams a couple times a year and I'm digging in. This is fun. Let's go Army and Air Force. Air Force minus 2.5, a predictable 37 for the total.
37. You're excited for a game where the total's 37?
Yes, because we're just running option all day long. Both teams back and forth.
Same play over and over.
I know. 2 slowest teams in the country. Here's kind of a neat little thing. You mentioned baseball just got over. Here's what's fun. I told you won me a lot of money this year in baseball, so thank you. You won me so much money on a bad team. I had to buy the Texas Rangers.
Oh, that's nice. I love that.
Right? Can you see it? I'm not handling the camera real well, but look at that. Look at that little throwback.
It's
little
nice.
Rangers logo.
That's perfect.
The reason I bring this out, Dave, this game is being played at the Rangers ballpark.
It is?
It is. It is. We've got a fun neutral site game here for
who in the hell's going to this game? Are there going to be people in the stands at this game?
No. Well, Army Air Force, you got a national fan base. There'll be some, but it's a TV product.
Right.
It's a TV product.
TV product.
All right. Now let's try and evaluate this. Last time we saw Army play, they got 70 hung on them by Wake in what was a pretty entertaining game. Talk about going over a total.
Wake what'd they score? 58 or something? Like
yes. Yeah. They scored in the 50s.
What's 130 points scored in that football game?
Incredible. Okay. But now this is different, right? There's going to be a little bit of a keep away by both teams. Air Force is going to take their time. Air Force has held 5 of its 8 opponents to under 14 points or 14 or less. Damn. So they're going to play a little defense on you. Okay. Here's what I'm most interested in, as no surprise, the total. We got to talk total. You give me a total at 36.5, 37, we got to talk total.
Yeah.
The Action Network folks brought some good information. Okay? We got some good information. Let's look at this. You ready?
Yeah.
When service academies meet, when two service academies meet,
Okay.
since 2005,
Okay.
big sample size. Since 2005, when two service academies meet, the unders have hit at an 80% clip. Talk about trends. You want trends? I got a trend. Action Network serving up a big boy trend for you. 80% under. Okay, here's where it gets even more interesting. What do you have this line opening at?
Let's see. We
It was
got
like 37.5, 38. Was it up a little bit?
37 and a half. It initial bounce to 36.5.
Yes.
Went up to 38 and has settled at 37.
Okay, so here's just some numbers because I got it at 36.5, so it's going against me right now. I might have to go back in and take more. But how about this? When the total decreases one or more points,
Okay.
which it did, but now it didn't. So this is against the closing line. So this isn't totally in effect.
Okay.
But when the number decreases one or more points, the under is 21 and 2, 91%. Keep an eye on this. If the total decreases 2 or more points off the open,
yeah,
the under's 100%.
100?
0.
Did you say 100? It's never lost.
15-0.
Now, if I knew that, if I was in the book, I would slide that number just 2 points just to see if that trend continues, just to prove it wrong. I'd move it down. But you're making all this case. If you tell me that you're going to play over, the show's over.
No, because I have already played under at 36.5, and I might have to go get more. And last number. I know it's
no, this is fantastic. I love it. Keep it coming.
I'm killing you with numbers. Here's
this
another.
Is good.
One. Go back to 2014 in this series.
Okay.
Army Air Force in this series.
Yeah.
The combined total points are as follows.
Okay. This is great.
29, 23, 43, 21, 31, 30, and 17.
Oh my goodness. So we got one over, 6 under. Sounds like our highest total of the week on the show. One anomaly and the rest under.
So this is under or pass, right? Even though the total's ridiculously low.
This is not even
you go under or pass.
It's yeah, if you don't like unders, just don't bet it. But if you don't like money, bet over because it's a loser. There's no, I mean, unless there's a scoop and score or some crazy thing, and you might be able to survive a scoop and score in this game. I mean, I don't know about picking a side. This seems hard. It's 2.5. Forget the side. Just bet the total in the game. Under.
With you.
Easy.
That's with you.
I don't want to watch it though. It's on at 8:30 in the morning Pacific, which is a couple hours later than it is right now while we're recording this Saturday. I ain't getting up and watching it. I don't want to see now. I want to click halftime. I want to see the score about 10 points, maybe 13, and then move on, check the final, text you, say thank you, and be done with it. I don't want to watch one play. You like watching the option?
Oh, I love it. And here's the thing. Keep your phone on because I'm going to text you every drive. I'm going to text you every drive. And if someone breaks off, neither defense is good at stuff right here. So if somebody breaks off a 75-yarder, I'm going to go nuts and put your phone on. I'm going to wear my Rangers. I'm going to wear my Rangers hat that you paid for, and I'm going to cheer for no points. I want 3-0 at halftime. Let's go. Run that ball right into the line. Fullback dive right in the middle. Just run it straight into the line.
Listen, I had a buddy that we played NCAA football for hours and hours and hours, and he used to run that option at me with Nebraska and just over and over, and I couldn't stop it. Used to drive me crazy. I wanted to throw the controller at his head. Sean, if you're listening to the show, I'll find you again when this new game comes out, and I'll figure out how to stop it. What do you got for the next game?
Oh, I love it. He was running Turner Gill at you.
Nonstop.
Nonstop. With Dean Steinkooler pulling around leading. Dean Steinkooler leading the block.
Just could not stop him. That was the team. He used it and he kept coming at me and said, "You stopping it now?" No. And I couldn't get the ball. He would take 8 minutes off the clock. I got one drive a quarter. It was so annoying.
Can't stop Mike Rozier. You have Irving Fryer blocking on the edge, an underrated blocker there because
you
went
a
on the Patriots and passes. I just know that team. I was right in my wheelhouse. All right. Let's stay in the Big Ten. Talking about Nebraska because they're now Big Ten. Let's stay in the Big Ten. I'm just serving one up here for you. So this is your moment. I'm just serving one up. I don't know why we're talking about Penn State, Maryland, but we're going to. So we're going to talk Penn State, Maryland. Penn State double digit. Penn State double digit. Is that right? 10.5 total, 55.5. Is Penn State laying 10.5 here, your boys?
Newbie went out of order again. You believe this? He says he says big, sets it up Big Ten. I'm getting set up for Michigan State, Purdue, and you throw me Maryland, Penn State.
I'm a fan of it. I like the curveballs early. To be honest.
It's nothing but deuces here. The guy throws nothing but curveballs at me. This is incredible.
Well, it's not batting practice. This is live action. So get ready for the pitch that I throw.
That's fine. All right, 359, 360 on the rotation number. I finally found it. 5-3, 5-3. Penn State on a 3-game losing streak. Yes, they are. Last week's show, the week before, you're pretty funny. Went back and watched it. It's still funny. Pretending like Penn State wasn't playing. That was pretty good. Now that, you got this West Virginia thing rolling there, you can talk about it. Let a little bit of pride, look at him sitting there smiling like a Cheshire cat. Newbie's pretty excited. Dan Newbert, the producer at Newbie Talks, and all the kids, the Wizards, make sure you're clipping this. And so Brad can just sit there and smile. I don't know what the hell this line is. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Penn State's favored by 10 on the road. 10 on the road. Everyone knows I went to Penn State. Everyone that watches the show, listens to the show, knows that I went to Penn State, and I'm a bit of a homer. Sometimes I would take Maryland all day, every day, and twice on Saturday. Like, is this Maryland team this bad, B? How do you have numbers that are going to show me or tell me they are this bad?
I'll tell you. Here's why. And I watched this Maryland team up close in the season opening win they had over West Virginia.
You did.
But they've gotten worse. And part of it's too bad for them. Star wide receiver Deontay Demas went down with a knee injury early. He was a stud. Rakim Jarrett and Deontay Demas with Tagovailoa throwing it. They were really good early. They've come back to earth. And part of the reason why, Dave, listen to these defensive numbers. Maryland has given up 51, 66, 34, and 35 over the last 4 weeks and have not scored more than 17 except for one time in that stretch. So they're playing bad defense and not scoring. So they are struggling here. Now, here's the other side, as you know. I don't need to tell you, so we'll tell the listeners. Penn State, though, can they score? They've only scored more than 28 twice all year, Ball State and Villanova. So can they – I mean, is under a play? Can you touch under with those bad Maryland defensive numbers? 55.5 is the total. Do you just play Maryland? It's gross, and the under would be gross with that Maryland defense. Or do you just have to stay away from this one?
Under. I think under. Yeah. You got me to the under, and now you got me off of Maryland. I would normally, I'm looking to take points. I'm looking to take the home dog every single time. I mean, and especially double digits like this. Maybe a pass on the side. No, I'm not laying it.
You're going to sweat an under with this defense, though, aren't you? I mean, you're going to sweat an under with the Maryland defense with those numbers.
You are, but Penn State's defense is really pretty good. I mean,
yes.
The takeaway for me from the Ohio State game was that the defense, if they wouldn't have had to be on the field as many times as they were, if the offense for Penn State just gets another drive or two and keeps them off, I think they can actually win that game. They only lost by 9. They were 19-point dogs. Ridiculous. Now, how many points is Maryland going to score? You just said it can't score. 20? Penn State can get 31. The game still stays under 31-17, 31-20. I think under is the best play. And I think it's going to fall right around 10. I'm not crazy about the side, but I think under. Another game, look, when your team loses, and then 3-game losing streak, what's Penn State playing for? Right. And apparently you guys are right. I don't know if it's James Franklin. He sounds like he's going to leave. I watched the show. I listened to the show last week, and then you told us about the change agents. Newbie went and watched that kid play. Newbie, how did that kid play good? Did he look okay in that football game?
He actually got shut down, so I think Franklin's leaving. He was playing an all right defense. He was shut down, man. If that's what he's hanging his hat on, I think we're in trouble, Dave.
Boy. All right. Well, again, Brad Howe's right. I'm wrong. He knows if he goes, is he going to USC or is he going to LSU?
Oh, he's got to go to USC. I said last year, I think USC is a good fit for him for what he does personality wise, likes the camera, and can recruit. I mean, that's what USC, that's what college football is. You got to get guys. LSU showed us that. It doesn't matter if you know what you're doing, X's O's, if you're interviewing assistants or you're just bringing guys. It doesn't matter. Get guys. Start with guys.
Gotta
and
get
you got
guys.
a chance. James Franklin gets guys. He will get guys if he goes to USC. That makes some sense to me.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
Jeff Fisher's one of the guys they're talking about at USC. I mean, you're going to go Jeff Fisher?
No.
Go
Ew.
get Franklin.
Jeff Fisher? Is
Ew.
it? What? That can't
I'm
be.
telling you. All right,
Oh,
I digress. We're not
goodness.
talking about Jeff Fisher on this show.
Definitely not. Next.
So you like the under? You were lukewarm on everything there, but you like the under. If I gave you $100, said you got to make a bet, you'd take the under.
One bet would be the under. Yes,
Okay.
that would be it.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, let's stay in the Big Ten. This is what you thought I was going to give you. Now I'm going to come back. I brushed you off the plate. Now I'm going low and away here, but you're ready for this one. You're sitting on it. Michigan State, Purdue.
Yes.
So here we go. Oh, here we go. This one's interesting. I can't wait to hear what you say here. Michigan State, road favorite, -3 at Purdue. Total 54. Here, I mean, I got numbers. I'll give you numbers, but here's the handicap to me. You tell me. This is a bad spot for Michigan State. They are clearly the better team. They can run it. They were impressed. This is a bad spot off the win over your rival in Michigan. You're ranked in the playoff ranking. I said we weren't going to talk about rankings, but Michigan State, everybody telling them all great. Kenneth Walker, Heisman, they got they're rolling there at Sparty, right? Mel Tucker's got it going. He's just raking in Coach of the Year awards. Here we go, Michigan State. Let's play for a national title. Not since Magic Johnson. I know it's a different sport. Let's go. We're playing Michigan State. This is Purdue all day long, isn't it? Is this just a pure spot play, or are you going to take a road favorite here?
All right. So 8-0, 4 wins in a row, ATS. 6-0-2 on the season. Last week, you said Michigan State hasn't played anybody. You said Michigan. We were doing hail to the victors. We were doing it all last week. And Michigan State goes and wins a game because they can run the ball. Now, Purdue already took down one undefeated Big Ten team in Iowa. They got that reality check. Purdue did it on the road. Now Purdue's at home. Biggest game of their season since the Iowa game. The line's only 3. I'm scratching my head. I'm like, I saw the line. I'm like, oh, they know. They know this is the game. This is the one that takes. Now the rankings come out. Michigan State's right up there. They're gonna go. They're gonna go to the playoff. They're just gonna win out. They're gonna beat Ohio State. This is the year. Oh, I've seen it before. Seen it so many times. I want Michigan State to continue to win. I really do. I hope they do this week. I'm not touching this game. But if I were, I'd be in the book going, let them bet it. Let them bet it. You're going to take all the bets on Michigan State. And only the bad guys and us are going to need the Purdue. I mean, do you want Purdue? I mean, you know the spot. Like you know the spot. Do I want
Purdue? I've taken Purdue. I'm not hypothetical here. I have taken Purdue.
Did you do money line or did you?
I haven't yet. I just took the points first because of the spot. Now, here's the thing. It is a bad matchup. I mean, this is going to be one. The spot is got to be as bad as it looks in order for Purdue to get this. Purdue's defense looks okay, 40th in total defense. But you start to dive down a little bit, and they're not good. They're 107th nationally against the run. What's Michigan State want to do? Run it. Michigan State leads the country in explosive plays of 60 yards or more. Michigan State leads you. So this is one. Purdue could be winning this thing, and Walker takes off on a 63-yarder and crushes you. So the spot's tremendous. The matchup's bad for Purdue.
Give me Michigan State. I think they continue. I think they continue this little magic season and dream run because what they do is run the ball. You can take that show on the road. They have no pedigree. They have no history. They just beat Michigan. It's a definite letdown spot. You're going to hear it all week. I just flipped based on everything you just said, which again usually doesn't result in a good thing when you flip your first thought at the window. I'm doing it right now. Michigan State wins, covers the spread.
Okay, we're on opposite sides a lot today. I don't like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to, you mentioned West Virginia earlier. I'm in West Virginia. I cover West Virginia. I worked at West Virginia for 2 decades.
Yep.
I've got no clue about West Virginia. No one knows less about West Virginia than me. No one knows less.
You've confused the hell out of me. You're absolutely right. I thought, all right, this guy B. Howe, he's right there. He was in the offices. He knows what he's talking about. Every time I ask you, what do you think? They're done. They're this, they're that. They go and win games.
Yeah, you fade me. You fade me is what you do with me now. Got the first 4 games of the year right. I was hitting sides. I was hitting totals. Had it all. Last 4, I have been dead wrong. West Virginia beats Iowa State last week in what was a terrible matchup for West Virginia. And Dave, they looked good.
They looked real good.
That wasn't a fluky win. They were the better team. They dominated Iowa State up front. Quarterback Jared Dagey, career day, 370 yards passing. They were the better team. Now, can they back it up again? Here comes Oklahoma State into Morgantown, another top 15 team. You're getting a really good defense here. I thought you were getting a really good Iowa State defense that was confusing, hard to figure out what they were doing, let alone execute. West Virginia had no problems. Went up and down the floor, had one of the best offensive days under Neil Brown. Now they get a really good defense that's tremendous up front. Can the young West Virginia offensive line control that Oklahoma State front? If they can, you got a ball game here. But this is a really good Oklahoma State defense.
So as much as you've been wrong about West Virginia, I've been wrong about Oklahoma State. They're 7-1, 6-2 against the spread. I think I picked against them 4 times. That's like, they're just not working. They're favored on the road, and I think they have to be because of kind of maybe who they've played or how they've played. I mean, the numbers would tell you that this would be probably closer to a pick 'em by being in West Virginia, but it's not. You get, this is when this stuff starts in November, where you got teams that got to be favored because of what they've done. But if anyone's paying attention, like you just said, West Virginia is playing their best football of the season right now.
Yes.
And I want that team plus points at home in, what time does that game start? Let me see.
3:30 East.
3:30 East. So we get a little bit of a sunset night game effect in the second half in West Virginia. A little bit tough place to play. I'm all over the home dog here, and I'll come to West Virginia. I'll have dinner with you. I'll take the bullets. I told you last week, stop picking against all them boys because you got to go pick up the dry cleaning. You got to go out to dinner. There's a lot of people listening to the show in West Virginia, watching the show all over the country. Thank you again very much. Are you going to come on here again and tell me that West Virginia is going to lose this game?
West Virginia's offensive line, here's the game. West Virginia's offensive line is really young. They start a true freshman at right tackle, who, by the way, will be a pro, has been very good.
A beast.
Here's the deal. Their offensive line, West Virginia's 14th nationally in stuff rate on the offensive side. That's good.
Did you say stuff rate?
I'm giving you 2 stuff rate stats here.
What the hell is stuff rate for the people?
Okay, thank you for asking. Definition: percentage of carries that are stopped at or behind the line of scrimmage. How often are you stuffed?
Stuffed. How often are you stuffed?
Football outsiders.
I think a double stuffed. Do you like double stuffed Oreos?
I do.
Instead
Single
of the
stuff,
regular
double
ones?
stuff doesn't matter. I like both of them. What doesn't matter.
Okay.
Put it in front of me. I eat it. Both of them good.
Newbie, double stuffed too much or just enough?
No, you got to go double. I mean, you're already destroying your diet eating one of those Oreos. You have to go double stuff. Go big, go home, boys. That's what they eat in the box pod's all about.
Give me some more. Give me some more stuff, please. Be out.
I'll even give you a little mint inside the stuffing. I'll go non-traditional. I'll go off board, but I digress.
What?
All right.
Oh my.
West Virginia 14th in the nation offensively in stuffer. So that's good. They don't get stuffed very often.
Okay.
Oklahoma State's defensive line, they like the double stuff. Second nationally in defensive stuff rate.
Second.
So that's what I'm saying. That front 7 for Oklahoma State gets after it. This defense is really, really good. Under seems like a viable play here for me.
Oh, let's see.
West Virginia's offense is playing really well. Spencer Sanders. See, here's the key for Oklahoma State. Spencer Sanders can get loose with the football and throw you a couple, but he's been very good the last couple games. 5 touchdowns, no picks. Granted, one of those against Kansas. Can West Virginia's defense force a couple turnovers? It's not great at that, but can it get a pick or two? Under might be a good play here. You might see some very good defensive line play on each side here.
Wow. Making a lot of cases for the unders, and I like it. I like needing unders, and I think you're thinking right. It's crazy how the Big 12 numbers are changing. I mean, this number's under 50. Oklahoma State, West Virginia total is under 50, 49 and a half. Definitely leaning under. I'm still taking, give me the double stuff. Give me West Virginia. I want all the stuff.
You got the home dog. Take it.
Yeah. Home dog, load up. I like to take off the top and the bottom though. Like I like to eat the stuffing myself, like without biting the whole cookie. You bite the whole cookie, Brad, or you like to separate?
One bite. Stuff it all in one bite. All goes in at once.
This guy.
Yeah. Well, that's the way newbie eats them. There's no question about that.
Just take it. I don't know why you're trying to get messy and take it apart and do all that stuff, and you get the stuffing fall. Just eat it.
Yeah.
Just take a cookie and put it in. Go to the next one.
There you go. All right. Well,
All right.
I got to try that, I guess.
Go to the SEC. And the only reason I'm putting this in is because I want you to come back to me. Can I get back on Alabama first half here? LSU at Alabama. Alabama minus 28.5, total 66. LSU's a disaster. We've talked about them a bunch. The halftime number, what's the first half number you got for me? Is it 17.5 for Alabama? Can I lay 17.5 in the first half?
You better. I mean, what are you going to do? Take the other side? What are you going to stop betting it? This is paid for more hats for me. I mean, seriously, we're not taking LSU and I mean, the game number's big. 28.5, 29 in places. This thing's going to close 30. 66 for the total. Alabama first half. Alabama team total over. Alabama game minus 28.5 if you can get it. You might have to sweat it. Might fall right at 28. It's a weird thing to think, like a key number's 28 or 30. LSU scores what in this game? 14, 17, one field goal, two touchdowns, two field goals, one touchdown. Again, when I look at the big spreads, all I look at is how many points is the other team going to score and go, okay, can we get enough more than the spread? Fitty, Bama's hanging Fitty on them. I mean, there's no question. So I would lay it. Like, I feel this is okay. I mean,
is this me? Am I talking over there? You're laying 4 touchdowns plus? Who are you?
That's Bama, by the way, the number 2 ranked team according to the rankings. They got one loss. All them teams after them ain't got no losses. The committee got one thing right yesterday. Georgia 1, Bama 2, because that's the way it's going to end, at least until they play in the SEC championship. LSU provides no resistance. No matter what stuff you got, please tell me that's the case. You got any stuff on LSU?
No, they can't stop. Alabama's going to run it right at them, and as soon as they bring everybody up, they're going to give you a little Bryce Young play action, then hit you with a pass. But is
he live to win the Heisman? Is he can't win the Heisman, can he?
I mean, who else? Who is going to win the Heisman? We'll have to get into that here in a week or two. Who is going to? I mean, they do give it, right? They can't just say there's no Heisman this year.
They're going to give it to somebody. For a year?
They are. They can't just put it on the shelf. Say sorry, nobody gets it this year.
They
Kenneth Walker. I mean, if you're Michigan State team, I mean, I know you don't give it to running backs. I know it's only a quarterback award. You can't win it if you're running back.
Why is it only a quarterback?
The receiver won it last year, so okay, maybe you can't. Kenneth Walker's having a great year. Yeah. I digress. All right, fine. I just put that in there because it's LSU. They're a mess. Take Alabama. I'm riding Alabama. I need another hat. By the way, can I go back to something that I'm disappointed in you in?
What?
And I know it's early. I threw you a curveball having to go early. Yeah. If you were on your A game, you're coming on this show picking West Virginia. You're a West Virginia homer now. We do our game within the game show. You're basically an adopted son of West Virginia.
No question.
People love you in the state.
Yeah.
Love you in the state. You like to wear hats. You like to wear jerseys.
Yeah.
You missed an opportunity to come in here with a Major Harris throwback number 9. Do you know why? You know why that was a missed opportunity? I'll tell you why.
Please do.
They're retiring his number this weekend in Morgantown.
No.
Retiring. Talk about Heisman's. He didn't win it. Should have. Guy before his time. Great throwback. one of the all-time great fun play. Anybody watching this likes college football, they know Major Harris. He'll be back this week, and they're retiring his number.
Now, that is awesome. I actually got goosebumps because Major Harris was a guy from Pittsburgh that went to West Virginia, wore number 9, which was my number. Everything I have is number 9. Big Consig Kylie wears number 9 because of, I think I kind of steered her to pick a number for the little kid uniform, and she'd been number 9. So we passed on the number 9 legacy. Major being back.
He's back, baby. He's back.
Man, we're dumping all in on West Virginia. See, that's why we do the show. You got to tell me these things. It's 6 o'clock in the morning here. Little Consig just rolled over and said, "What are you doing a show right now? I got to go brush my teeth and get ready for school." Newbie's seen Little Consig in the morning. It's a little scary. She may take me out. She may take me out.
Well, I jumped around on you there, but I knew you'd like Brashear High School product. Major Harris getting his number.
Saw him playing high school. Yeah, saw him playing high school. I mean, speaking of, I'll throw one back at you, a little softball at you. How'd Pitt do last week? How'd they do last week? Pitt, you remember that team?
Kenny Pickett just a few minutes ago completed another pass. He threw for about 7 billion yards, but no.
They lost.
Yeah,
they lose to Clemson.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
because that's what they do.
And they're 20. Are they 20-point favorites this week? They didn't make the list because they're Pitt, and you don't like Pitt.
They didn't make that list.
And nobody likes that you talk about Pitt on the show. So it's 21-point favorites at Duke after losing at home. Is 9-point favorites against Miami with a shot to go play the ACC championship. The ACC is so confusing. How 21-point favorites.
I know.
Be the first time I said it all season. I think you take Duke. There you go.
Well, good bonus pick. No, I didn't put him in there because I had Pitt in a money line parlay. That's my mistake for taking Pitt. Shouldn't have. They cost me. So that's why they're not on the show. They don't get back in.
You're
lose me money. You're not here. Get out. Get out. All right. Back on track. We got Major Harris. We got Pitt. We're all over the place.
All over the place.
You haven't even had your coffee. Here we go.
No.
Back to the Pac-12. Interested in your take on this. Oregon, Washington.
Oh, boy.
Oregon in the playoff hunt.
Yes.
6.5-point favorites, total 51.
Yes.
What do we do with Washington? Again, there are some of us on this program that may be holding a 8.5 over 8.5 win ticket on Washington that is now a loser. Thank you, Washington. So that has now lost. Can't get there. A lot of people thought Washington, along with Utah, could be a team that could win the Pac-12. Underachieved. They'd lose out of the gate to Montana 13-7.
Yes.
Now we've got this week Jimmy Lake, the head coach of Washington, as if he didn't have enough problems with Oregon on the field, starts saying that their recruiting is overhyped and pumped up by the media, that Oregon's recruiting is not as good. And here's what he went on to say, that they don't run up against Oregon in recruiting. They only run up against academically high-level schools. He went academics on you, Dave. He went academics when it came to football, which Washington, wonderful academic school, heck of a research institution there in Seattle. Jimmy, what is Jimmy Lake talking about here? What Phil Knight probably just built 3 more football facilities while Jimmy Lake was at the press conference there.
Yeah.
Oregon. Now you got Oregon. Mario Cristobal. So is that right? You want to talk about that guy? We're going to show you academics and run the ball right at you. So now we got some juice. It's a rivalry anyway. We got some juice. Jimmy Lake talking. Phil Knight just donated 17 more billion to Oregon because of Jimmy Lake's comment. What are we doing here? Oregon, you laying it?
Oregon's probably unveiling another new uniform this weekend, probably a new helmet as well. Last week they wore that speckled paint thing.
Eggshell.
What is it called?
It was called Eggshell.
Eggshell. It looked cool as hell. It was, me and Newbie were watching it. We're like, what is that? Like, that's actually pretty nice. You know what else is nice?
You're right. Oregon will probably break a new uniform out each quarter. That's right. Just to talk. Oh, really? You don't think we know about recruiting? Here, we're going different uniforms every quarter now.
I hope one of the helmets that they have says academics on it as they're running to the end zone. Listen, I love the smart kids. I was a pretty smart kid, but I could relate to both. I think people can, but if this is, the academic guys versus the football guys, give me the football guys on the football field in that argument. 7 on the road. 7. Man, you're supposed to take Washington, right? And then this is one of those ones where 51 is the total. So it's not going to be one of those like Oregon going to UCLA games and both teams getting in the 30s and scoring. I think you got to worry about Washington scoring. Can they play enough defense to keep them down? I mean, Oregon is 7-1. They're 2-6 against the spread, B-How, which is the same record against the spread that a 4-4 Washington team is. I don't know. Like, my first thought is to lay it. What is wrong? I know it's early in the morning. Am I confused? I mean, like,
you come on here every week and yell at me for laying road favorites. So I've tried to adjust my approach, and now all you do is come in here with chalk on the road. I mean, I'm trying to take your advice, and you're making it hard because you're taking my advice, and you yelled at me for that.
Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you don't. That's the unique thing about the show, about the book, about every week to week. You can't continue to just apply one thing to everything all week. I think if you take more home dogs than you don't, you're going to end up better. I've seen it, the results in the book. But yeah, man, like, are you going to tell me you want the home dog? You want the smart kids in this matchup?
Washington 101st in total offense and 96th in rush defense. So just for that alone, I don't like that. You said it. Is Washington going to be able to score, and can they stop the run if Oregon wants to hammer you? No, I've already lost money on Washington. So no, give me Oregon to get it back.
That, again, I don't know about that statistic, but I don't want that stuff. What you just said with Washington, I don't want either one of those. I don't think 7's enough. I think Oregon wins going away.
All right, good. Now, let's move on. Only a few more minutes. I got to get you out of there so you can drop a little consig at school. Here we go. What is becoming and has become my favorite part of the week, the highest total of the week.
Oh, man, we're back. Newbie had to step up last week and do it. Newbie, how's your throat? You good?
I'm good now. Yeah, I'm good now.
Oh, all right. Well, it's Breeders' Cup weekend, by the way, for horse racing fans. That's a horse racing. Lead them up to the gate. B-How, lead us to the highest total of the week that goes under every week.
So here we are, and I'm glad Newbie's back in his studio instead of downstairs blaring that music while your family's not even up yet. So good. For your family well-being, I'm glad Newbie has returned to the home office. All right, here we go. You are right on. This is unbelievable. This is not even a trend. This is just a lock, basically, right?
Easy.
I mean, just back up the truck. This is a lock. Last week we went Charlotte and Western Kentucky. I played the under because the numbers tell you to play the under. I did not. I wanted no part of the under, even though I was on the under. That game shouldn't have been under with those two teams, and yet it fell way short. 45-13, 17 total second half points in a game that closed at 74.5. The over in this has only hit once in 8 weeks. Highest total of the week has only gone over once in 8 weeks. But look out here. We're going to sweat it again. Are you ready for this one? I'm bringing you, say hello to Wake Forest. That would be undefeated Wake Forest.
Undefeated Wake Forest.
Who put up 70 on Army here recently. Yeah. Undefeated Wake at North Carolina. Total opened at 77. It's clipped down just a little bit to 76. Wake is 5th nationally in points per game at 43.
That's a lot.
Carolina is 22nd at 37 points per game.
Pretty good.
They don't stop people. North Carolina doesn't.
Nope.
Wake's defense might be sneaky okay. Army game to the contrary. Sneaky okay.
What does that even mean?
Well, they're second best defense in the ACC, according to PFF.
The ACC stinks. They don't play no defense in the ACC.
Carolina has given up 39, 45, 35, 42, and 44 in ACC play. And I'm counting Notre Dame in that because they're kind of ACC. Maybe they're not. Mike Bray is in basketball. They are in soccer. I don't know if they are in football or if they're joining. Count it. I mean, is North Carolina going to stop anybody here? Can we come under? Can we? 42-35 is not out of the realm of possibility, and that beats us at 76.
42-35. Last time we did this thing, I added the math up and I was off, and I said over when it was supposed to be under. 42-35 is 77. 42-35.
Both teams. One more stat. Ooh. Both teams are top 35 nationally in plays. So you're going to get tempo. A bad Carolina defense, 2 good offenses. Sam Hartman for Wake is playing as well as anybody in the country. 22 touchdowns, 3 picks, 6 more rushing touchdowns. I mean, this is hard to be on the under, but the numbers tell you under. I've already played the under. I played the under. As soon as I could get it, I took the under.
So you got to play the under. And again, we talk about this when we do game within the game every week. And like, we text talk every day anyway. and you say to me sometimes, what is your first thought? What would be your first bet? First bet would be under, because we keep proving every week on the segment, the play is under, it ends under. But it may be one of those ones in game where we don't get a score or something on the first drive, and this thing goes from 77 to 72, 71, 70, and then maybe try to create a middle really quickly, because there's not going to be too many times that a drive does not result in points in this game. Whoever kicks the first field goal is probably losing. We'll probably go that route with it. But I can't come on here. It's 70. I mean, the point spread is 2.5. So I think, I mean, obviously Wake's dream stays alive to go undefeated and try to get in this playoff, which we know they're not going to. 70, keep our dream alive. Let's go under. Let's go under again in a game with a total of 76.5, 77 points. I got to ride the trend and go under. I just, right? Like, what are we doing here?
We're riding it. We're riding it. As you always tell me, you don't want to step in front of the train. You just jump on the side and ride the train until the train comes to a stop, and then we adjust. Ride the train. Take the under.
Ride the train. All right. Well,
and
that's
sweat
gonna
it with us. Sweat it with us on Saturday, because this one's a real sweat.
It's gonna be good. Yeah. The game is at 9 a.m. You want to talk about getting up early? We got up early to do the show. You better get up early. Noon start Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific. Get ready to watch that game. Highest total of the week that goes under. We're gonna have to actually add that into the
change the name. Okay.
Change the name. Well, thank you, sir, for getting up and doing this. Newbie Talks, Dan Alexander /newbie/Newbert/ all these things. He is our /. Cordell Stewart was /. Newbie's the / producer. Jumps on Talks. Thank you for being here and setting this up, sir. For Brad Howe in West Virginia, who keeps picking against West Virginia people. I'm sorry. I try to tell him he won't listen, but he's Brad Howe, 07, up early. Coffee loaded up. Thank you, sir. Myself, Dave Sharapan, Sportsbook Consigliere. I can't even say it. What time is it? I don't even know. It's time to get out of here. We're gone. Talk to you guys next week.